Hello matriculants, welcome back to it. It's Maths Masterclass with Leo. Please subscribe to my channel. If you are new to the channel, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for watching our videos, and thank you guys for sharing the content with your friends, because you know it says it takes a village to raise a child. Now, what do we need to do? We need to help each other in this case and make sure everyone passes and we make it to university life. And yeah, now what I need to do today is what we explained the basics of the hyperbolic. So today I'm gonna do the hyperbolic or hyperbola questions, few questions from hyperbola. Then now we still have what you call an outstanding function, which is the inverse function, which is the inverse of, we have three inverses. We have the inverse of a linear or a straight line, we have the inverse of a parabola, and the inverse of an exponential function, right? Okay, now let me just get to it. It's hyperbola. Now they say write down the equations of the asymptote of H. Remember the equation of asymptote? Now in this case, my equation of the asymptote, I have x minus 1. This is going to be x is equals to 1. That is the first equation. The second equation, y is equals to 2. Those are my two equations. I'm done with the question. Those are my two equations. I'm done with the question. Right? The next question, it says determine the equation of the axis of symmetry of f of h that has a negative gradient. Remember what I said about these things. We did this thing on our previous class, which was about hyperbolic and exponential function, which is actually lesson 13. Now this one, how do we do it? They say a negative one. They say we need a negative one. So I'm just going to say, oh, negative gradient means is y is equals to negative x, right? Negative x plus c1, right? I need to write this in terms of the equation because they said determine the equation. So now, okay, fine. This one and this one is not a problem. The problem is this one. I need to get the value of c or the value of c1. How can I do that? Come back to this. Come back to this. What is my x? X is 1. X is y is 2 equals to negative x is 1 plus c1. What did I say? I said when you substitute or when you need the equations of symmetry, you use the asymptotes that you have. You use the asymptotes that you have. So this is my first asymptote, okay, which is 2, and then 1, which is here, right? Then now take this to the other side. I'm going to have 2 minus plus 1 is equals to c1. Then c1 is equals to 3, right? Now rewrite the equation. I'm going to have y is equals to negative x plus 3. That is my equation with a negative gradient. With a negative gradient, right? Now, the next question, it's not difficult, it's a bit tricky. They say sketch the graph of H, showing the asymptote and the intercepts with the axis. Now, do we have the intercepts? No, we don't have the intercepts, but we know if you want x, or let's just start by x-intercept, then let y equals to 0, right? So now, going back to my equation, what do I have? I have y is equals to negative 3 over x minus 1 plus 2, right? Hope I wrote everything well. Yeah, there, right? What is the statement saying? When you need the x-intercept, let y is equals to 0. Then 0 is equals to minus 3 over x minus 1 plus 2. Take this to the other side. Negative 2 is equals to negative 3 over x minus 1. Then cross multiply. Then I'm going to have here, I'm going to have negative 2x plus 2 is equals to negative 3. Right? And then take this to the other side. I'm going to have negative 2x is equals to negative 3, negative 2. This will be divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, x is equals to 5 over 2. There, right? X is equals to 5 over 2. Now, next, y-intercept, let x is equals to 0, right? Let x is equals to 0, then I'm going to have y is equals to negative 3 over 0 minus 1 plus 2, right? Then I'm going to have, this will be 3 plus 2, right? Then y I'm going to have 5, right? Then now, when I write my coordinates, these coordinates I'm going to have 5 over 2 is to 0, and this one I'm going to have 0 is to 5. These are my coordinates, right? Now draw the graph. When I have something like that, right? Let me just see here. I'm going to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, right? Okay, now let's hope it will fit. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's hope my graph will fit here. Okay, now the first thing that I need to do, take out these two guys. Take them out, right? Take out those two guys. Now I have here, this is my first asymptote, right? Y is equals to 2, right? Second asymptote, x is equals to 1 here. There, right? Then x-intercept 5 over, x-intercept I have a 5 over 2, I believe is 2.5. I believe it's 2.55. What is this? What is this? 5 over 2. 2.5, right? Now, 2.5 will be somewhere here, right? 2.5 will be somewhere there. Then now, my graph will be something of this nature. Something of this nature, approaching that line, but it will never touch it. Approaching that line, going that way. And this one, again, going that way. Right? Now, the second one, y-intercept, I have y-intercept somewhere here. Something like that. It's going to be coming from that side and then going something like that. Right? That is my graph. That's my graph. And then just name your graph and say that your graph should be, what is the name of your graph? This is h of x. Right? Then now, did we answer the question? Sketch the graph of h showing the asymptote and the intercept with the x-axis. With the axis, not the x-axis. There's our graph. Something like that. Our graph will always be something of this nature. Our graph will be something of this nature for a hyperbola. Hyperbolic graph will always have two sides, right? And then if you're going to draw those things, if they say draw those things, the first one will be the positive one, which is going something like that, right? Which is, this is the positive one, y of x plus c1. This is the positive one. Then the negative one will be something like this, passing through there. Something like that. This is the one that we got the solution for, negative x plus 3. Right there. Makes sense. Now, let's move to the next question. I got the next question similar to this one. Just want to make sure everyone is right on the same page, right? Okay, now I got this question. This is my question. They say given f of x is equal to negative 1 over x minus 3 plus 2. Write down the equation of the asymptote of f. The equation of the asymptote, first one I have x minus 3 equals to 0, x is equals to 3. Right? The second one, y is equals to 2. Right? This x represents p this represents Q, right? But since they said write the equation, this is the equation. Equation, it is in terms of X and Y. That is the equation, right? Okay, now the next question they say, write down the domain of F. Someone might say X is the element of real numbers, of which they are correct. But this statement alone, you cannot get marks, right? You are correct, but this statement alone, you cannot get marks. Why? This statement needs, because we have asymptotes. These asymptotes are our conditions, right? They are our conditions. It means our graph cannot touch a certain point, right? So our graph will start at negative infinity, but it will never touch 3, right? And our graph again will start at 3, but it will never touch positive infinity, right? Actually, it is never touching this 3. Because I used, you see, this more like, I can just call them circular brackets instead of square brackets. If I use square bracket, what I'm trying to emphasize is that my graph starts at 3 whenever I use this, right? Whenever I use this, I'm trying to emphasize my graph will start at 3, right? Now, in this case, if I use this, brackets, I'm telling you, or the marker, that my graph will never touch 3 and will never touch negative infinity and positive infinity, right? Then the the third question, determine the coordinates of x-intercept. The coordinates of x-intercept, remember what I said about the x-intercept? When calculating the x-intercept, let y is equals to 0. When you let y is equals to 0, you're going to have an equation that says y is equals to negative 1 over x minus 3 plus 2, right? Then 0 equals to negative 1 over x minus 3 plus 2, right? Then group this, I'm going to have, take this to the other side, I'm going to have minus 2 is equals to minus 1 over x minus 3, right there. Then now, cross multiply, this and this will give me minus 2x, this and that will give me positive 6, which is equals to negative 1, right? Take this to the other side, I'm going to have negative 2x is equals to negative 1, negative 6, which negative 2x is equals to negative 7. Therefore, x is equals to 7 over 2. X is equals to 7 over 2, which is around about 3.5. 7 over 2. Over 2. See, it's around about 3.5. Now, the next question, they set the coordinates. Coordinates, I'm going to have 7 over 2 is to 0. Because this is the x-intercept. Why do I put 0? X-intercept. X-intercept meaning it touches the x-axis. Right? It touches the x-axis. Now, this one, they say write down the coordinates of the y-intercept of f. Y-intercept, you let x is equals to 0. Then I'm going to have y is equals to negative 1 over 0 minus 3 plus 2. This will give me minus 1 over minus 3 plus 2. 7 over 3. 7 over 3, 2.33. This is 7 over 3. Meaning, this is going to be 0 is to 7 over 3. Those are my coordinates. The next question, last question, they say we need to draw the graph. These are my axes. I have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is supposed to be negative. Now, asymptotes. I have asymptote at x is equals to 3. At this point, this is my first asymptote. Right? I have another asymptote at y is equals to 2 at this point. I have my asymptote. Right? Those are my asymptotes. Right? Those are my asymptotes. Now, I can just write them in terms of coordinates and say, 3 is to what? 3 is to 2. Right? And then, I have the Y-intercept at 2.333, somewhere there. That is my Y-intercept. Can't I use the different colored marker? Okay, let me use black. Oh, God. Okay, now I have another x-intercept. This is the y-intercept that I have. I have x-intercept. My x-intercept is somewhere here. Because remember what you got, 7 over 2, which is 3.5, between 4 and 3. Then draw your graph. It's going to be something of that nature. There's my graph. But I need to name it. What was the initial? It was f of x. Initially, we were told that this is f of x. That is my graph, right? And when I try to remember the basics and try to conclude from the basics that my graph is wrong or correct, my graph is correct. Why? Remember, when the value of a is less than 0, when the value of a is negative, my graph will lie in between. If this is, it will lie here and here, of which that is my graph, in between 2 and 4. That is my graph. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe and share the content with your friends. Let's make sure everyone goes to university. Let's make sure everyone goes to university, or let's try to make everyone go to university. I know you chose maths because your career path lets you and it actually needs maths. So now let's try to make sure you follow your career path. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for watching. Tango!